If you've played any amount of live cash games, you have probably been asked the question at some point. Wanna run it twice? It usually comes up after all the chips go in and the dealer pauses, waiting for you and your opponent to make a decision. Some players say yes automatically, others never agree out of principle or superstition. So what's the right move? Should you ever run it twice in cash games? Let's break it down. My name's Andreas Wagner for Card Player, the Poker Authority. When two or more players are all in before the river, they can agree to run it twice. That means the remaining cards will be dealt in two separate boards. Half the pot goes to the winner of the first board and half goes to the winner of the second. And this is the most important point. The long-term probabilities do not change. Whether you run it once, twice or 10 times, your equity in the hand remains exactly the same. If you're 60% to win when the money goes in, you'll win 60% of the pot's total value over time, regardless of how many times the board is run. So, from a purely mathematical standpoint, running it twice doesn't help or hurt your win rate. But that's not the whole story. While your EV stays the same, variance is affected. Running it once means you'll either win the whole pot or get nothing. Running it twice gives you a shot at getting half, more often than not, especially in close equity situations. That's why many experienced players opt to run it twice or even 3 times if the card room allows it. Over thousands of hours, it smooths out the bumps, less emotional whiplash. And in the often brutal world of poker, that kind of stability matters to some. Here's where it gets tricky though. Most players instinctively know that running it twice is less stressful, but what they overlook is how the rake structure impacts the equation. In many card rooms, when a pot is split after running it twice, rake is taken from both boards. Even worse, that rake can be calculated as if each half pot were a new pot, which means more money gets raked than if the hand were just run once. That's why you need to ask the dealer or check the house rules. Does running it twice affect the rake? If the answer is yes, you might be better off running it once. And there's one spot where running it twice is almost always a mistake. When you and your opponent have the same hand. This usually comes up with hands like Ace-King versus Ace-King. If you run it once and it ends in a chop, which it often does, most rooms won't take any rake. But if you run it twice, many rooms will automatically apply the full rake no matter who wins it or if it's a chop. So, in spots where it's likely to chop, you're literally throwing money away by running it twice. At the end of the day, whether to run it once or more is a personal choice. If the rake doesn't change and you're comfortable with less volatility, running it twice makes a lot of sense. But don't just say yes without thinking. Ask about the rake. Think about your edge, and definitely avoid running it twice when you're likely to have the same hand. Poker is hard enough as it is, don't give the house more than you have to. You can also run it twice in online poker, on Coin Poker for example. If you join the site, you can get a 150% welcome bonus and 33% rake back. More info in the card player link below.